For this week's discussion post, I chose to do research on the ancient Greeks' ideas of poor people and how they treated them. And I just did a Google search and I found a couple different websites that seemed credible, and I read them and I found out that the ancient Greek people were not a big fan of poor people. They didn't like to acknowledge them. They just tried to ignore them and shove them in a corner. One of the websites I found said they didn't even have a proper word to describe poor people, and they didn't really have a god that they could pray to, and the more well-off people thought that they were poor because the gods didn't like them, and so that's why they were born into that life. It's because they were bad. And there were sort of donations made to each other, but it was more of in an effort to show their power and their wealth and their statute. So you might give your neighbor a bushel of apples and they might give you 2 loaves of bread back. And whichever gift was better would be the better family, and you wanted to have the better gift of the two. And how this relates to social Darwinism and the Protestant work ethic is social Darwinism is about being born better than other people. Like when you're born, if you are born into a rich family, that means you're just innately better. Where the Protestant work ethic is more like pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and doing the hard work to get better. So social Darwinism, they think you don't have control on what kind of life you're going to live and your power and your wealth. Whereas the Protestant work ethic believes you do have that kind of power. And so the ancient Greeks more aligned with social Darwinism, and that they found people who were poor unworthy. And I just thought that was rather interesting because I didn't really know a lot about that stuff before this.